Hey, my noble friend Sir Kakababu is back, and partners, I welcome you to another video of mine of World of Tanks. Today, I am bringing you this review of this Tier 8 Russian tank destroyer, the ISU-152, otherwise known as the Troll Cannon or the Glass Cannon or Death Cannon, whatever you want to call it. It all of those names suit this vehicle quite rightly because of this big ass gun. Now this is a Russian mod, skin mod I have applied upon this, and I think what they were trying to write on it was rest in peace, and they said "Re- requiescat in peace." Oh, whatever, what the hell. This skin rocks, this tank rocks, and I'm going to tell you what its statistics show, and I'll give you a little bit tips as well about how to play this tank correctly, right? So first, look at the tech tree. Here is it. Okay, here is the Russian tree, and let's look at the SU-152. Now, if you want to get to the ISU-152, of course, you have to go through the SU-152, right? And the grinding for ISU-152's big gun, the BL10 starts from the SU-152. Now, once you get the SU-152, just get the tracks, engine, radios, and use the stock gun. That's what I always say. Use the 150 millimeter stock gun with HE ammo or the gold rounds. HE are cost effective but are not that effective. Well, they are definitely more effective than the armor piercing round. They actually suck. Don't bother using them. Just use the HE round or mostly stock up on your gold rounds for the 152 millimeters. I bought those gold rounds when they were at half priced, and in fact, I bought a lot of them at full price as well because grinding through this tank without gold rounds is really hard because it's not a very good tank destroyer. The SU-152 that is. So yeah, I highly recommend that you spend a little of bit of money and money by money I mean credits, and use gold round or HE rounds to grind this 102 millimeter 22 millimeter and this one. Now don't bother putting them on because they are not very effective. Their penetration is not very good, and you would just get frustrated, and the 152 millimeter stock gun is more effective, right? Now once you have you are past that and into the ISU 152, again same story. Use the uh, stock gun of the ISU 152. These two guns would be already researched, and you do not have to go and research this tier 9 gun because it's useless. Just start researching for this gun right away. Well, not really. Go for the tracks first because I did the mistake of researching the gun first and then found out that my tracks, even when I dismounted all the engine or radio and all the extra equipment, this gun was so heavy that stock tracks weren't able to handle it, right? So you need to get the tracks first, and this engine and radio would be unlocked already. So would be these guns. Just use the stock gun until you unlock this PL10, and this is a monstrosity and a very good gun. Let's look at some stats. All right. And hey, why don't we compare this Tier 8 tank destroyer with other nations' Tier 8 tank destroyers? How about the German ones? Jagd Panther 2, Ferdinand, and the 1948, and the Chinese don't have any. And what about this one? 8015, and the American tree. Where is the, yeah, T28 and T28 prototype? Okay. Oh man, at tier 8 one gets a lot of tank destroyers. So here are the American trees, uh, tanks. Oh man, what the fuck? Come on. Okay, here are their stats. Now we get the British. Okay, here is the Frenchy. Here are the two German ones, and here is the ISU-152. Now, remember, my I have my ISU-152 deleted, so there it's, and well, not really, because its engine power is a little bit more because I have upgraded it. All the other tanks except the Ferdinand I don't have. So yeah, let's look at their stats. Health 1150 and 1110. So in that regard, it's a little bit worse than the Yak Panther 2. And Yak Panther 2 is not known for its durability and survivability. But so in that regard, it's worse than the JP2. Let's look at the Ferdi. Ferdi is at tier 8 tank destroyer. It's the most toughest tank destroyer apart from the British one, which get the 1450. Now that 8015 is a monster, but that's the main British thing, right? The their tank destroyers are heavily armored, slow moving, with uh, uh, fast firing, accurate guns with high DPM. They don't have high alpha damage. Then we look at the French, and French is a little worse as to be expected. Only 1000 hit points for it, and same goes for the 1150 for the both two of the American tank destroyers, right? So in that regard, it's only worse than better than the Frenchie and worse than all of the other tech trees in all nations. So keep that in mind. Now we look at the uh, speed limit 45, 30, 26, 43, 18, 18, and 18. So it's not a slow machine, okay? It's only slower than the Yak Panther 2, and that thing is fast, right? Don't be fooled by the speed limit though. Its acceleration is not that much, and it doesn't feel a very is a decent penetration. Okay, you can get through many things. And standard shell, if you use the gold shell, 329, the penetration goes up to, and the HE of course sucks. Now the average damage of the standard shell 750. Now this 750 damage is a lot, my friends, really a lot, especially if you consider that you are mostly getting matched up against tier 8 tanks, most of whom have 1500 health, right? So so you basically can two shot a tier 8 vehicle and severely cripple a tier 9 vehicle, right? So the health, the damage is monstrous, and it's the main feature of this gun, and you should keep this in mind. You do not have, and you could not rely on its armor at all. Now, if you consider this mantlet can give you a little bit bounces, so if you are, and look at that, its armor is a bit angled from this side, right? So if you come up against any tank, you need to angle your armor like this. Just move it on the right or left. Just don't reverse in a straight line. You angle it, and you might get lucky, and he might bounce a shot off of you. Don't count on it though, because lucky bounces on ISU-152 seldom happen. One needs to be far, far away from the enemy and play this thing like a really hunter killer, hiding in the bush somewhere, fighting from afar, and taking care of oneself. Right? Now I think I've covered everything I could. The equipment suggestions, of course, the gun rammer is important, and the improved ventilation help out a lot and improve the general characteristics of the tank, so they are good as well. Now, since you are going to be um, staying in a bush from afar, you would have all the time in the world to aim at your target. So gun laying drive is not necessary. Instead, you can use these binoculars because they increase your view range, and view range is always important when you're staying at the back looking for targets to shoot from range. Gun's accuracy is not that bad, so uh, you generally hit what you aim at, and its damage is and penetration is so much that you don't have to aim at weak spots that much, right? And for the crew perks, sixth sense, I cannot stress this enough that you have to have sixth sense perk at every vehicle you have. There's no question about it. It helps you a lot. It tells you that you have been spotted or not. It tells you if there is an enemy in the vicinity or not. And it basically steers you in a number of times. So sixth sense is always the way to go. Remember, sixth sense always become active once it reaches 100%. So if you want to spend some gold, just give the commander a camouflage skill. If you're a rank destroyer, give it a camouflage. Give him a camouflage skill, or if you're in a tank, then give him a repair skill. Once he reaches the 100%, convert the skill and give sixth sense to him, and start researching camouflage again. Okay, camouflage or repeat again. Now you need camouflage for all of its members because it's important. For the second part, I recommend a repair skill. You cannot go wrong with repairs except artillery, because all of I mean, if you get tracked, they can some tanks can keep you permanently tracked, and you don't have any turret, so you're screwed, right? So you need to have the repair skill on all your crew except commander, and yeah, that's about it really. Now I keep 15 rounds of normal AP shells and 5 rounds of armor piercing. Now I seldom used to need to use the armor piercing the APCR round because the standard shells are so good. I just keep them for airy situations or that stuff. Don't carry any uh, HE rounds because you are not going to need it. Perhaps you can carry one HE round for those rare situations where you need to reset the cap and you can't take a chance of hitting the enemy and bouncing. So carry one HE round if you want, but I don't. Okay, of course, standard pack, small health kit, small repair kit, and manual fire extinction, and that about covers it. Now I think it's time to jump into a battle and show you guys what this thing can do. So on to the battlefield. All right, welcome back, guys. And this map is the Ruinberg, and we are playing a 49% win chance game. So the enemy team has a lot of good players on their side. So let's see what happens. Usually, I decide to go in the city, and this time I decided to do the same thing. Wait a sec. I think I should decrease the volume a bit. So, wait a sec. All right, let's go, partners. And this goddamn IS-6 was creating hindrance in my righteous path, so I let him go. And keep looking at the mini map, lads. Now, as you can see here, the situation on the mini map is not good because very few of my teammates have gone on the field. The enemy, on the other hand, has heavy presence there, and only two light tanks and these measly IS-3 and T-29 are going there. What good are they going to do? So I was just looking for targets and not getting any. I'm getting frustrated, and there I saw a FCM 50T and fired, and I don't think that I hit him. Not really. Nope. Things are in a stalemate at the moment, my noble friends. And let's see if I can hit. Oh, the goddamn T-29 moved into my path as soon as I was ready to fire. Good thing I didn't because I would have raped the shit out of him. Okay then, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to pause the game and uh, keep you, give you guys the set trap. Okay, look at that. Near the cap, the enemy has a Yak Tiger 88, the IS-6, who are fighting with this Tiger 2 and this T-34, perhaps, right? This IS-3 and whatever the other tank is have gone forward, and they basically this force is taking on this Tiger 2 while these guys are flanking them, right? So I saw that and I thought my teammates are in a very bad position and my gun can be of use to my teammates. So I decided to move into the city. Now, the most important thing in the game is to keep yourself aware of what's happening in the game. Enlarge the minimap, okay, because it's important. Half the game is you being aware of the situation and developing battle, right? Otherwise, it's not good. Keep your minimap enlarged, and if you want, you can get the XVM, so you can know where the all the tanks are, and it's all very good. And speaking of XVM, this is my uh, close vicinity range where I can vicinity spot, right? Proximity spotting they call it. And this is the my new range, and this is the radio range of my tank, right? So now I have moved here. My teammates IS-3 Super P and the other one are here. They are being engaged by Yak Tiger 88 and IS-6, and I have moved from here in a flanking position, and let's see what happens. And I fire 820 damage, my noble friends. I did to him, and now that IS-6 is aware of my presence. Now this Tiger 2 was in a very good position to kill me, but no worries, I did not get deterred because he was being engaged by a friendly T Super P. Another 820 damage to the Yak Tiger 88. As you know, the Yak Tiger 88 is a TD and its sides are not that good. He is well aware he has now retreated, which has given my teammate a little bit of respite. And now I am firing again, aiming and fire. And ladies and gentlemen, Yak Tiger 88 is gone. Okay, now I retreat because IS-3 is aware of my presence and he is aiming at me, right? Also, the Tiger 2 is a bastard and knows that I am engaging the IS-3, and they saw he fired at me, and then I just stayed here and waited for him to reverse a bit because otherwise it was of no use. IS-6 was just sitting back there waiting for me to come out, and I was one shot away from being killed. Now here comes the Tiger 2. I put one in him and he retreats forward. Luckily, he fired at me and got my tracks. Otherwise, he would have killed the shit out of me, and I got a bit lucky there. And my friendly Super Pershing finished him off. Now, the time I was away engaging the Tiger 2, the IS-6 again got distracted by the teammate and was engaging the Pershing. So now he didn't see me come here. As you guys saw, he just fired, and now I aim and fire! 730 damage to the IS-6, and now both um, Yak Tiger 88 and IS-6 have been killed completely by myself. Also, I did some damage to the Tiger 2, and it's all good. Look at that. I've done 300, 637 damage. Great. The situation looked very bleak, but I managed to flank the enemy and make a big difference in it. And now this enemy T-110 Chinese tank is trying to lure me and tempt me to fire so that he can finish me off. But I didn't. And I waited for my friend Super Pershing to move in. Super Pershing has moved in. And I move, and fire! In his haste to fire, He just quickly looked at me and fired before even his turret had reached me, right? So his end was near, and I ended him in time and in style with 3 kills and 3,988 damage, my noble friends. So there you saw the powerful devastation this gun wreaks upon its enemies, and you do not want to be at the other end of this gun. It's really dangerous. And, and the fact that ISU-152 can be killed so easily, you want to keep an eye out for this tank, right? In the enemy ranks. Whenever you see an ISU-152, prioritize it. Otherwise, it would ruin your motherfucking day, right? So yeah, focus it and try to kill it as quickly as possible. Now let's look at the post-game statistics. Hey partners, welcome back. And we are here on this map, Steps, and I am in a tier 10 game, a very very high tier game indeed. Look at that. The tier 9 tank is in the middle, and then there are tier 9 apart from RT, and then we've got 3 tier 10. So I'm just almost at the bottom in this game, and even worse are our chances. 41% chance. Look at the efficiencies of the enemies. WN 56, 60, 69 efficiencies all in the green. Partners, we are stacked up against some serious and skilled foes, and our chances look bleak. But what the hell, no worries. We'll see what we can do. We'll do the best we can. Okay. So now let's move. Okay. Now when I am in my ISU 152, I generally don't have any idea where to go and where the good spot is. I usually go on the right rocks, and in this area try to hide right where this T-54E1 is, and try to shoot down at those enemies coming at the rocks, right? So but this time I decided to come here, and I decided to stay here because I saw that the T-71 was moving about, spotting us, and I thought it would be a good idea for me to stay below this ridge so that the enemy scout cannot scout me. Okay, and now I move up a bit because I saw those targets, and I aimed at this tier 9 tank destroyer. Ladies and gentlemen, I set him on fire, and now most of his health would get depleted due to my one shot. I did 800 and or something damage, and now the fire would do the rest. Look at him burn, motherfucker, burn. And then I move up again. I see that T-71 was staying here. I aim, and fire! 600. Yeah, boy. Ladies and gentlemen, look at that. Now, I know that this VK 4502P says it's 1380. I think it's this much. Well, whatever. I did 1500 damage to him at 615. So in total, I've got like 2000 damage. Even if I die right now, I would have done very well because I was such low in this tier, right? So that gives you the idea of how much this gun can do. 2, 3 properly hit shells, and your work is done. And if you manage to survive, then you can rip the shit out of the enemies. And let's unpause the game and see what happens. And the Our Object 74 and STI on the right are engaging the enemy. Okay, look at the mini map and keeping the enemies lit up while I am staying at the back, trying to pick up targets of opportunity. And Centurion 1 killed the 4502P again by fire. He really had a bad luck, and then I saw this AMX uh, 50 Foch, 51, whatever. It's the Foch tier French tank destroyer, and I aim and fire an 814 damaged shot in his sides, a swift shot. And I don't know what the hell was he doing. He just rushed ahead into our base. What was he thinking? Perhaps he thought he was driving his T50-2 or something. Anyways, I fire, finish him off, and now a tier 9 and a tier 10 vehicle of the enemy has been taken out of the game by my humble hands. Okay, also this guy. And let's see if only this Tiger 2 would be kind enough to poke his bitch ass a little bit out so that I can lay one in him, but no worries. The Centurion 7-1 decided to oblige, and I fired and damaged 722 tank. Tier 9 medium tank, ladies and gentlemen. His day would be fucked. No worries. I have reloaded and I am all ready to hit them again. Now come on, enemies, poke your heads out so that I can give you a severe beating. And I aim and I aim and fire! 780 damage, and that British American and British medium tank is down. Ladies and gentlemen, I two-shotted that tank. Granted, he was a bit damaged, but still. Now the enemy force has been reduced and they are not feeling that much cocky anymore. So that IS-8 fired and I've been... Oh, even though my gunner was gone, I fired and again hit 753 damage. I've repaired my gunner and now I see that the enemy Yak Tiger has ganged up on us. So I am trying to be cocky and well, I tried to hit his viewport, but you know, this being a Russian gun from that range, it's really hard to do so. Superstructure of Yak Tiger is very strong. And 4502 A and boom again 735. Good one. So now I was really in a bad situation. I had no cover, nowhere else to go, and I was just hanging by a thread. So then I see, look at the situation. Even though I have done horrendous amount of damage to the enemy, they are still on the upper hand. Look at it. They have three tanks and we have three as well. But I am at holding my last breaths, and they can overrun us anytime. And there we've got IS-8 and E50M. They are both retreating because the enemy force is present here, and they would soon be coming and spilling into our base. But luckily for us, this Centurion 1 has snuck into their base and is now capping. So yeah, that a good thing happened to us. I don't know what the fuck our team was doing. Perhaps the higher skill level of the enemy team really showed, and they uh, were really gaining the upper hand. Okay, I see the Jack Tiger at here and fire 745 again. And but now I was thinking, what the hell? I should retreat. Oh no, what the hell is wrong? And then I see this 45202A and I fire and miss the shot. I was trying to get in this area so that I can have some cover or something because the enemy team was just upon us. And then I see the Jar Tiger 88 and I wait for reload. Fire! 719 damage, my noble friends. And then I retreat, and Yak Tiger finally thought he had enough of me, and he killed me. But no worries, I had done enough, and even though they had killed more vehicles, our Centurion carried the game and capped the shit out of them, and we won the game. Partners, you saw that I did 7,460 damage and a little bit more. Basically, I did, well, you guys would know all about it in the post game stats. So let's go and see them. Alright, welcome back, friends. Partners, actually, due to my ineptness, I don't know how to merge those image files of the post game statistics with this video. So to get around that, I'm going to uh, put the mm, all of the post game statistics and numbers of both the battles in the description. Also, an annotation would be appearing on your screen right now and would be detailing all of the major things which I did or got in those battles, right? So forgive me for not providing you with the post game statistics, but I would have if I could have, I tried, but this editing mumbo jumbo uh, is not my thing, and I honestly don't know my way around those goddamn editing softwares. But anyways, fuck that. You guys saw that uh, when used correctly, this tank can be a really effective machine, and one can have a lot of fun in the ISU-152. In fact, very recently I started to go down this Russian tank destroyer line, and I am glad that I did. And it's a very good machine, and I fully recommend that you go down the Russian or Soviet rather tank destroyer line and get this machine, and you guys would not regret it. Also, to keep your uh, tank destroyer crews all scaled up and stuff, get this thing SU-105. It's a very cheap machine, only 3,250 gold, and it was even more cheaper for me because I bought it on a sale. It only cost around 1,600 gold to me, and it's fun. You shouldn't get this thing because it only has four crew, and these tanks uh, use an extra gunner. So even if you want to go down this line, all of your four-man crew can come in this, and an extra loader you can pick up from any other tank destroyer of yours. Okay, so Get this SU-100Y if you if you are looking for a cheap, effective tank destroyer, which can make you a good amount of money and train your Soviet TD crews. This thing is good, but why would you get this when you have the option of getting this, right? It's cheaper, effective, more fun, devastating gun. It's all good basically. So yeah, that's about it. Really, lover friends. I hope you guys enjoyed this my little review and my games. And in the coming days, I would be bringing you guys a review of Yak Tiger 88 and some gameplay of T-34 American Tier 8 Premium Heavy Tank and the VK4502A, the Duck Tank. So stay tuned for that. Also, new Let's Play of Shogun 2 Fall of the Samurai Tosa faction is coming up, and first part is all recorded up. I just have to process it and upload it, right? So much of new content is coming up, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, I thank you guys for watching. Also, in the description are the links to my Twitter account, Facebook page, and my blog. Now, you guys can go check them out. Go to my Facebook page and go ahead and like it. Follow the Twitter feed to get new updates, and I would really appreciate it if you guys go ahead and follow me on Twitter and like the Facebook page, and it would really help me a lot. Also, think about rating this video if you enjoyed it, right? So, with all that, I would bid you guys farewell, and until next time, goodbye, my noble friends.